Tracy Sang from SI Belfast. 16 Days of Activism banner campaign. Our club raised awareness in relation to ending violence against women by making handmade fabric banners with encouraging messages for women. Here are some examples of the messages. For example, we believe you. You're beautiful. You deserve love, not pain, and stop domestic abuse. There were a number of challenges with the project. We had limited awareness of SI in Northern Ireland, no promotional budget and a lack of access to venues. However, with support from Belfast City Council and Libraries NI, we overcame the main barriers. We worked with Women's Aid Belfast and Lisburn, White Ribbon NI and Whaleworks. Whaleworks is a youth social action group, and they created the posters that went with our banners on display during the 16 Days of Activism. We handed out Women's Aid information and included their helpline number on the banners and posters. I was invited by White Ribbon during their Challenging Gender Stereotypes Week at the Young Offenders Prison. I led a banner making workshop with 16 young male offenders. They were aged 18 to 21 and were serving time for violent crimes. This is a photograph of the banners that they had started to make, and the messages that they chose included, "You're beautiful, you're not alone, we believe you, and stop domestic abuse." They wrote the messages on the front small panel and stitched them to the back larger panel, and then I machine stitched them onto bias binding to create the bunting banner. These banners were on display at the Linen Hall exhibition. We depended on a lot of volunteers, and it started with our club. I led a banner workshop with the club to train members on how to make the banners. Then they could volunteer at the public workshops. The workshops were an opportunity for us to share about Shroptimus, about ending violence against women. It also was a safe space for people to share, and some people were able to share their experiences of domestic abuse, and we were able to signpost them to Women's Aid Services. The banner campaign was launched on International Women's Day on the 8th of March 2024. Between April and August, the public workshops were held with community groups at women's centres and in public spaces in Belfast. During the 16 Days of Activism, the original plan was to have 16 bunting banners for 16 days in 16 locations, but due to the overwhelming response from volunteers, we ended up with 50 bunting banners on display across 36 locations, and these included libraries, community centres and government offices, initially for the 16 Days of Activism. However, some locations kept the banners for a few months and a few held on to them permanently. The messages appeared in 9 languages, including English, Irish, Chinese, French, Spanish, Portuguese, Italian, Polish and Ukrainian. This is a photo of one of the bunting banners on display at a local library. Over 160 volunteers contributed to the sewing effort. On social media, we reached over 90,000 accounts, and we gained over 1,500 new followers across our platforms. During the 16 days, it was estimated that over 16,000 people saw the banners in 36 locations across Belfast. The project led to other opportunities, for example, some panel discussions with White Ribbon. The first was at the Linen Hall Library exhibition event, and then later at the Ireland North-South SI Annual Conference. I was also invited to take part in a documentary on local TV, which was about sustainability. Our banners had been made with recycled fabrics. I was also invited to a special round table with UK MP Jess Phillips, who already knew about Shroptimus. Lastly, I'd like to share this photograph and say a big thank you to all our volunteers. Thank you to the club members, to White Ribbon, to Women's Aid, to Linen Hall and other facilitators and collaborators. Thank you to all the volunteers for helping us to raise awareness about ending violence against women. Thank you.